Many investigators now believe ESP can be taught. At a farm in Afton, Virginia, a teaching experiment is about to begin. The farmhouse contains a modern electronic laboratory. It is the work of retired businessman Robert Monroe. He and assistant Nancy Honeycutt attempt to teach others how to separate mind from body. It is a feat Monroe has learned through trial and error.
We're going to start off by putting the electrodes on. From this, we're reading the galvanic body response, and it gives us an indication of how relaxed you are, and then we can have some idea of how you're doing here.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you clearly.
How do you feel?
Quite relaxed.
That's very good, very good.
Should I go through my regular breathing exercise?
Just begin your resonant breathing exercise. Your resonant breathing exercise. Start it now.
The experiment is designed to give people a new perspective on the power of their minds. Monroe's work is being paralleled on a somewhat larger scale nearby at the University of Virginia. At the American Institute for Psychical Research in New York, a man named Alex Tanos is about to undergo an elaborate test of his ESP powers. From an insulated cage, Tanos will try to project his mind's eye into a nearby lab, there to see an image projected on a screen.
I am now at the window, looking in.
The window Tanos refers to is behind the researchers. Tanos must concentrate on seeing a symbol displayed against a randomly selected color.
All right, Alex.
Upper right hand, red, slave.
Tanos' unusual powers are the product of long study and training at several scientific institutions. The University of California's Davis campus near Sacramento. Here, as elsewhere, ESP is undergoing increasing scientific scrutiny. Dr. Charles Tart is a psychologist.
ESP is really the name for a paradox. It means something happens, information gets transmitted, and we don't know how it gets there, and we think it shouldn't get there given the way we understand the physical universe. I'd like to be able to say it's a certain kind of energy, but we can't say that. We don't know enough about it. What we have to do is start where other sciences started in their infancy, is simply observe what happens and hope we can find some regularities that will do it. The major point of my research is to start with college students, find those who have some latent ability to use ESP, and train them so they can use it strongly and regularly. That's what it's all about.
Dr. Tart has chosen Karen Kamastia for an exhaustive battery of tests.
This is the 10-choice ESP trainer that you're going to work out on today. What it basically is 10 different options. I'm going to go off in the next room in a few minutes, and I will randomly select one of these to be the target and try to send it to you. When I do, the green light will come on so you'll know I'm sending. What you want to do is do whatever feels right inside you to try and get an ESP impression. And when you've got it, push the button of what you think it is. Now, it makes it easier for me to send if you kind of run your hand around so I get an idea of when you're close and when you're not. Okay, and then once you push it, whatever the right one was, it'll light up in the circle. And you'll be able to tell whether you were right or wrong and why you were right or wrong and just how, so you'll have a chance to learn ESP. Okay? Mm-hmm. This TV camera is what gives me that ability to see what you're doing. This is the inside of the sender's chamber. And this is the TV screen that shows the receiver's panel. She doesn't have her hand on it yet because we haven't actually started the trial. You can see we have basically an identical panel here that the sender can concentrate on. And to actually start the ESP sending, I push this lever to choose and load, which randomly selects a number. I have nothing to do with it. It's done electronically. And then when I pull the present lever, the machine has randomly chosen target 5. You can see that Karen's seen the ready light come on and is now beginning to move her hand around. And as she gets close to number 5, I'm going to try to tell her that's it. This is the time for her to make a choice. And when she makes that choice, it's going to be recorded automatically on a typewriter. Now she paused over, but then she went on. Now she's close. Come on, hit it, Karen.
Karen misses. The typewriter automatically records her selection and the time she took to make it.
What I'm trying to do is work on a theory that says you learn anything by trying and seeing whether you succeed or fail. But you've got to know immediately so you can associate what your internal mental state is with whether or not you succeed or fail.
I was going to do that one too.
What I've been trying to do in research is give people immediate feedback as to whether they're right or wrong as they go through an ESP task, so they can learn what goes with being right, what goes with being wrong, and then change their strategy. So when they start feeling those things that go with being right, they'll respond, and when they feel the things that go with being wrong, they'll wait or try to change their internal state. This, I hope, will be a key to better, more reliable ESP. Scientific thinking today about the brain assumes that basically consciousness is nothing but brain activity. All your loves, your fears, your hopes, everything that matters to you eventually comes down to nothing but electrical and chemical impulses in the brain. And I think that's in many ways a true view. The brain is certainly important, but also a distressing view because it leaves out what we might call the spiritual dimension of man. Now, my research is aimed at finding out whether that spiritual dimension really exists. Is the brain really nothing but a blown-up computer of the sort anyone can buy now, just many orders of magnitude more complex? Or is ESP that something extra that people have talked about?
The village of Tiahuanaco, Bolivia. It is an old village, but the strange stone figures that watch over it are older still. Karen Getzler is a psychic. She has traveled all this way from the campus of Duke University to help unravel the mystery of the stones. Explorer David Zink has sent for her. Karen is considered something of a mystery herself.
I don't know.
Investigators at Duke University have been baffled by the strength of her ESP power. She feels that the same kind of ESP power is evident in the debris of Tiahuanaco.
Look at these.
Karen believes that the mysterious architects of these ruins had psychic abilities beyond the reach of modern men. There may be an important lesson here for we who are just beginning to explore the possibilities of the mind. How could a civilization with advanced psychic skills have vanished without a trace?
Energy up here, and it's a nice clear line coming up. And I can't believe that it would just be coming off of a couple of dumb pieces of fire. There's
Where's the main energy coming from?
It's in a really clear line.
Back towards Tiahuanaco?
Back towards Tiahuanaco, but it's in the ground, I think. I wish they could do some... I had a shovel.
Karen's psychic impressions of Tiahuanaco lead her to think the ancients could communicate telepathically. Once this civilization reached full flower, Karen believes that instead of pushing toward new frontiers of thought, the ancients turned their minds against each other. Hopefully, we will not be so foolish.